these videos yesterday, I thought to myself, wow, this is weird. We haven't had any that were a best buy. And then I realized it's because I did not have the last page of the review. So we are going to do that now. This first problem, 11, is a continuation of what we were doing on the prior questions. Annie swims 45 laps in 20 minutes. How many laps can she swim in 1 minute? So the fact that we want 1 tells us we want a unit rate. So we have to do 45 laps in 20 minutes. So I'm going to go over here. It says show my work. 45 laps in 20 minutes. So the first step is guess and check. I have to guess and check how many times will 20, it doesn't divide into 4, but how many times will it divide into 45? Now, I could come over here and say, oh, well, I think it's going to be 2 times. Because 20 times 2 is 40. Probably wouldn't do that guess and check because I know that 20 times 2 is 40, but that is what we mean when we say guess and check. Then we're going to multiply. So multiply means we're going to put the number that we're going to use, which is 2, and we're going to divide it. Sorry, divide it. We're not going to divide it. We're going to multiply it. So 2 times 20 is 40. So if we're doing our steps, this is our guess and check. 2 times 20 is 40 is multiplication. The next thing we do is subtract. That's 5. And the next step is bring down. So I don't have anything to bring down, so I'm going to add a decimal and I'm going to add a 0. And I can bring down the 0. So 20 divides into 50, put a decimal there, again, 2 times. 2 times 20 is 40. And I'm going to subtract, and this time I get 10. 20 doesn't divide into 10. I can add another 0, bring it down. So I need 100. I need to know how many times 20 divides into 100. This is where, again, I could use guess and check, and I could say I'm going to guess 5. Zero times 5 is 0. 5 times 2 is 10. So I'm going to guess and check, then I'm going to use 5. I found that 5 works. So my next step is multiplying. I have to put the 5 over here. 5 times 20 is 100. Nothing remains. So let's text this. My answer is, how many laps can Amy swim in 1 minute? She can swim 2.25 laps in 1 minute. Okay? Now for my next trick, I'm going to erase all of this so that there's room here for the next problem. And the next problem is one of my better buy or best buy problems. So Nancy's favorite peanut butter is available in 2 sizes. Each size and its price are shown. So she can get 1 jar of peanut butter for $7.20. That's smaller. Or she can get a second jar for $17.50. The first thing is, we've talked about this, what is the unit rate? So the unit rate is the price for 1. In this case, it's the price for 1 ounce of peanut butter. And that's how it enables us to figure out which one is the better buy. So we are going to have to do two different division problems. The first one is $7.20 divided by 20. And if I count by 20s, 20, 40, 60, 80, so I know that I am going to use a 3. I can do guess and check and do it on the side here, but I know that 3 times 20 is 60. That's my multiplication. I'm going to subtract, bring down the 0, and repeat. And I'm going to count, you can't see my fingers, but I'm going to count on my fingers. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. So when I count on my fingers, I got 6. So that's my guess and check. I'm going to multiply that. 6 times 20 is 120. When I subtract, I get 0. There's nothing left. So I'm going to text box over here that in the regular size, it is 36 cents an ounce for peanut butter. Now I'm going to erase all of this. And I'm going to go to red. And I'm going to say for the family size, I have $17.50. That is expensive. A big jar of peanut butter for 50 ounces of peanut butter. 50 does not divide into 17. I'm going to ignore that decimal. It does divide into 175. And I'm going to count on my fingers. I'm going to count 50, 100, 150. If I go to 200, that's 4 fingers. 200 is too big, so I'm going to go back to what I said, 50, 100, 150. That's 3 fingers. That's what I'm going to guess and check. And I'm going to use the 3, and then I'm going to multiply. 3 times 50 is 150. So I'm going to subtract now. 5 minus 0 is 5. 7 minus 5 is 2. Oh, that's a 2. It's hard to see that. I'm going to bring down the 0. So one of the things I talk with students about is I'm trying to figure out 50 goes into 250, how many times? You can also make a multiples chart. 50 times 1 is 50. Then plus times 2, or 50 plus 50 is 100. Then it's 150. Then it's 200. Then it's 250. So I'm doing guess and check down here. I'm going to say this would be 50 times 1, 50 times 2, 50 times 3, 50 times 4, 50 times 5. So my guess and check told me to use 5. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 5 is 25. 250 minus 250 is 0. So if I go over to the text, and I want it to be red, I don't know if that'll work. Oh, let me change it up here. I want red text, so this one. It's 0.35. So when I say now that I have to explain, ooh, let's do it in purple. The family size is the better by because the family size costs 35 cents an ounce, which, by the way, is 1 penny less an ounce. It's 1 penny, which is the same as cents. A cent is a penny. It is 1 penny or cent less an ounce than the regular which is 0.36 or 36 cents an ounce. Okay. Move this out of the way. And that gives you an idea. So hopefully with doing these, this will help you. This will help prepare you for your test. And I expect you to all do great. Thanks.